This episode of the Math Together show is brought to you by Exemplars, rich and engaging K-12 math performance tasks. Hello, and welcome to the Math Together show, where thoughtful math educators gather and learn together. I'm Molly Vokey.
I'm Sue Looney.
And I'm Heidi Subnani. Thanks so much for joining us today.
So we're so excited about our guest today. Mary Kemper is here, and she's going to talk to us about this question.
Yes. So how do you inspire, encourage, and support your educators to continue to grow and thrive as mathematics teachers? And I think this is such a critical area for us to consider today. So we're really excited to do that.
Yeah, we're often talking about students, and today we're going to talk about how we do PD with teachers.
And so fitting Teacher Appreciation Week is this week.
Right,
so it's a perfect timing.
Yes, excellent. Excellent. Please, if you are watching, say hello. We will be watching the comments. Ask questions if you'd like. We love to have our audience interact with us.
Excellent. And before we get started, just to let you know, we are here to offer support. We share several free resources. If you want to get on the mailing list, this is how you can do it. It's super easy. You can do it right now. You just text Looney to 22828, and that lands you on the mailing list. You can also go to the website and see some summer PD opportunities. I know many of us need to take some time off and take care of ourselves. I know I'm going to be taking July off myself and then right back at it. So there's a couple of really exciting things happening this summer. One is a new course called Counting on Number Sense, and I am leading that in partnership with Build Math Minds, and that is halfway through. So that's opened for registration just until May 13th, and got to spend the weekend on the webinar with people from all over. So I'm really excited. That's new. And then also all three of us will be leading a workshop called Emerging Stronger. And we'll be talking about how we enter into next year and frame that conversation real positively and lead that journey for you, give you some support tools. And so you can find out all of that at our website, as well as other free resources, problems of the week, and things like that.
Yes, excellent. And I have the privilege of introducing Mary.
Yay.
Yay. Mary Kemper is the Pre-K to 12 Director of Mathematics in Coppell ISD in Coppell, Texas. She serves as the president of the Texas Association for Supervisors of Mathematics and is an Apple Distinguished Educator. So let's bring Mary in. Yay, welcome, Mary.
Hello. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah,
we're thrilled to have you.
Yeah, excellent.
So we love to start with this question. What is your why? It helps people listening to get to know you a little bit and let us know why you do what you do.
You know, math is a subject that doesn't have to be terrible. When speaking to other adults, I usually ask them to think about their experience as a student in the math classroom. And if they were to be able to describe something that stands out in their memory, if they have two memories of math as a student, usually there's one very, very negative, sad experience that might have been an interaction with a teacher, something that might be embarrassing or something connected to failure. And the other, if they have a second experience, was one moment in time where they felt that they could do math and be successful, just generally. Mm-hmm. So I have two of mine, and because it's a 30-minute show, I'll make them really brief. My positive for me, but negative for my entire class was in fourth grade, and it was board races on the chalkboard, doing long division. So I was good at it. I mean, it's rote, it's practice, it's the same routine over and over. So whether or not I understood partial products, doubtful. Actually, no, I just didn't. But I did the algorithm, and I did the algorithm quickly, and it was about speed and a little bit about accuracy. And I knew that it hurt my classmates in retrospect, but that was one experience I remember. And the other is high school calculus, because my teacher was, I spent a lot of time in her class, and it was when I realized how much I really, really loved the subject. So anyway, math can be understood. Everyone can be successful. It's not zero sum. Like it's not something that has a limited capacity of being understood by a certain number of people. But right now it seems that there's some secret handshake, or there's just some people who are allowed to learn and understand and love it. And it really should be reimagined. It's time.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
I love that analogy. That I wrote it down. It's as if there's some sort of secret handshake. That's so accurate. And I think it's in mathematics, unlike any other subject.
Isn't it so? Because like in reading, once you learn to read, it's like now you have the golden ticket. And that comes very early, I mean, relatively speaking, in a child's life. But math, it's like this uphill battle your entire educational career. Like just because you're okay in 6th grade math, like just wait. 7th grade's harder. Just wait. 8th grade's harder. Like that's the message, right? It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it's funny. I was listening to a podcast today with Aris and Pamela, and they were talking about how math is a lot about ego. And they're professors, so they were talking about it at their level, but then they started thinking back about, this idea of the races, right? Your memory that made you feel good, and how that, potentially empowered you, but other people felt very not empowered by that. And they were talking very much about it, how it was all about ego. And I hadn't really thought about it that way. It was very weird to kind of think about math being so egocentric or something.
Yeah, because somebody the secret handshake.
Right. Yeah. If
you get it, I don't
then
get
you
it.
get all the power. Yeah.
As if there's a limited amount too.
Yeah. You only some people.
Well, and it's a barrier unlike so many others. And so, not having, I was one of those kids who definitely did not understand the secret handshake well into adulthood. And so it was just that idea of how exclusive I think things can feel and seem. And as higher, the higher you go in mathematics, it almost becomes more exclusive. And so having that, it is really time to kind of just flip that around.
So how do we do that? How do we, when you talk about reimagining a world in which there's not an unlimited number of spots or seats at the table, everybody knows the handshake. In fact, maybe it's a little happy dance, right? How do we
shaking hands anymore?
Yeah.
Elbow bump. How do we begin to get there? I would love to. I know that you do amazing things. I don't know that you and I have talked about this, but I became aware of your work from our good friend Sunil Singh, and he has told the story multiple times about when he spent the day with you.
Yes, and did he tell you about the question he asked me?
He didn't tell me the question he asked you. He told me about your walk and talk, but I don't know that.
So I had the opportunity to pre-COVID host him just for a visit in my district. At the time, it was not uncommon. We're very close to DFW Airport, and I'm always welcoming, and I love to tell our story and celebrate great things happening in our classrooms because I get to work with teachers at all levels in my district. So anyway, Sunil came, and we were at a coffee shop, and he said, "Tell me what you want to do." And I said, I want to change the world. Like without hesitation, like I want to. And I really think it's not that I think that I can and nobody else can. I think I can. And so I have this opportunity. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, who am I to have this opportunity? But so I have a network of support through Apple Distinguished Educators. And it's just this amazing team of people who are in it with you. And every one of the Apple Distinguished Educators has your own niche, right? Like if you need help on to learn to teach science, you talk to this person, or early childhood, talk to this person, or troubleshoot this, talk to this person. So it's so nice that it's not competitive. It's just a group of people who help each other and who help other people. I'm also wrapping up my second term as president of the Texas Association of Supervisors of Mathematics. So my colleagues here in Texas who have similar roles to me also look to me, and we look to each other for support in the work. But anyway, I feel like I have an opportunity. And with the web and social media and just storytelling ability, I feel like I can. And so I think the work, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I think the work starts in the classroom with teachers and empowers them and empowers parents. I'd love to help support adults to feel confident in teaching and learning math, but I'll tap into them when they're parents and then come through the school. But I believe my work is empowering to educators because I'm kind. And that kindness isn't just fluffy being nice. It's advocating for teachers and for students and for all kids, for children who need a little extra support, for children who need attention, for educators who are struggling because they're new, or because they had a poor math experience themselves, or because they're stressed, or because they're teaching in a pandemic, and that's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
So anyway, what seems like an unending amount of energy that I have, I'm working on a lot of projects at once. Are y'all good with just me rambling about this?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, when the pandemic hit, spring break, and all the phone calls and Zoom started happening, it was, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to empower our teachers to teach our 14,000 students through a camera.
14,000.
No problem.
14,000.
Tomorrow. They need to be ready
Yeah, so
tomorrow.
If you could start tomorrow, please.
we were already one-to-one, so that was really great.
Okay.
So teaching with technology, it looks different when the kids are at home, but we had a lot of the good things going for us. This is the end of my 8th year in my job. So when my face appears on the screen and my voice comes in, I know these people that I'm talking to. So every week I was able to connect with my educators in different grade bands. So I'd have a kindergarten meeting and a first grade meeting and a second grade meeting. And I was able to take it from a large problem. Robert Berger taught me this a long time ago in professional learning. If you want to solve a big problem, one way is to solve a smaller problem. And so the smaller problem was, how do we teach this week in the band? And so I pushed back when I was challenged with my plan. My plan was, let me empower the teachers with what I would do if I was in the classroom. Let me do that work for them. They have a lot of other things to do. Let me design the learning experiences for them. I was told, don't do that, Kemper. You're just going to enable them and they will forever rely on you. And I just said, look, I'm not worried about them. I'm taking a small bite. This week, they need to know what to do. Because the educators I was initially thinking of were my self-contained elementary educators who are also teaching kids to read through the internet, write, do science, social studies, PE, music, art, social, emotional, check in on them. I mean, like, they don't get to see their friends anymore. Like the least I can do is give them a math lesson.
Right.
So I started, so my work is curriculum and instruction and professional learning. And so I do write math lessons and model and co-teach and all that good stuff.
Right.
But like a lot of my time is spent big picture. So I was able to zoom right in and be like, okay, the small problem is this week in kindergarten math.
Mhm.
And then this week in first grade math, this week in second grade math, this week in eighth grade math, this week in geometry, this week in pre-calculus. And I was able to
Wow.
jump in this week in pre-K in Spanish, this weekend. And so it was like really amazing opportunity that I got to do the work. And so each week I'd get on a short call with them and I'd say, this is what I need you to do. And we already had behind the scenes a learning management system. We're all familiar with it. We had to figure out some ways to organize it. And we have great teams on staff that have that responsibility. But so we were able to find a place to put it digitally. Everybody could access it. They grabbed their lessons. They were able to use them. They're welcome to be creative and think outside the box, but here's a lesson for you. So that's what I did. I took a big problem and narrowed it to a small problem and just took 1 week at a time. Now, once the charge was, let's do this for them for 4 weeks and get them going, because we were hearing like 2 weeks, we're going to be on in 2 more weeks.
So weren't we all? Yes.
I held on and I provided those lessons for K-5 all the way till the end of the year, which now we have all these great lessons.
Yeah.
So starting in this year, I realized, okay, I'm hearing a lot. Well, we started at the beginning of the year offering a choice. So we've been in person all year.
Okay.
So my teachers are very tired because they've been teaching, for the most part, a group of kids sitting in the room and a group of kids at home. And so that's really hard. So my being kind is really important. And sometimes I was allowed on campus, and sometimes it's like, because of contact tracing, let's try to step back. So I'm writing as many notes to my teachers as possible, sending them little voice memos. Like, I'm doing my best to connect with them and tell them how proud I am, visit them as much as I can on campus, keep some of these meetings going without overwhelming them. But I realized, okay, there's a lot of talk about learning loss. I don't even want to go there whether or not we agree or disagree. Here's what we can agree on. In August, if we're all back together, or for the most part back together, our kids' academic readiness is probably going to be a range. Like, we're not going to be lucky enough where every kid is
like
exactly
every year. Every year it's that way. Hello.
But this year in August, there's going to be this like dark cloud, right? There's going to be this like pressure of paranoia or anxiety or stress, and so here's my plan for all of my math educators, pre-K-12. If anybody says, Kemper, how are you going to combat this learning loss? What's your plan for intervention? In all of my curriculum documents. Oh, and the larger problem, remember, is a week at a time. So, some people think a pacing guide is bad. Oh my gosh, can you hear that flute?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's
This
lovely.
is our life.
It is.
This is our life.
It's lovely.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Practicing. It'll be great.
Okay. So it is very important to me that we provide a guaranteed and viable curriculum to every student in our school, that they have access to grade level instruction. Nobody draws the short straw. With much collaboration, we have collectively decided this is the order, that is the sequence, and this is the depth or the scope of which we teach these math courses. So this is what it looks like. This week we focus on this and this and this and this. Then if I get sick and Sue needs to take over my class, Sue's like, cool, man. Kemper's kids are learning the same thing at the same pace as mine. Yeah, she does that usually, and I do this. But I'm just going to scoop them up, and we're just going to do the best we can because we offer a guaranteed and viable curriculum. So within each week, here's my plan for combating learning loss. I'm glad we're recording this.
Is somebody writing this down?
There will be explicit prerequisite skills noted in each week of my curriculum document.
Love it.
And recommendations for pre-assessment, not formal. We're not getting out Scantrons.
Yes.
We're saying,
please.
Here's my example. Please don't judge me. But this example works for people no matter the subject. If we're teaching this week how to measure with a ruler to the nearest half inch,
That's a nightmare.
The
Yep.
pre-assessment is, can you measure with a ruler to the nearest inch? Okay, this is just my example. So instead of like doing any type of formal, all I'm going to do is, as the kids walk in the room, there's going to be some string and some rulers or measuring tapes and yardsticks and meter sticks or whatever. Grab some measuring devices and some string. Measure the string. I'm going to watch you. That's it. I'm just going to walk around.
Yes.
And I'm just going to see if you know to line it up at the 0. If you know it should be pulled taut. If you know, like, that's all I'm going to be watching. You don't even know you're being assessed. I'm just looking at you as a student. I'm just looking. Now, all the children that were like, I'm going to show her, I'm going to put it from the 2 to the 5. And when she comes by, I'm going to tell her it's 3 inches long. Okay, that group is over here.
Yeah.
Then all the kids that line it up perfectly at 0, pull the string taut and hold it and say, Miss Kemper, look, I measured it. You're in this group. All the kids that have like a snake and they're like, I don't even know what to do. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I'm going to show you today. Now I have 3 groups decided upon by academic readiness. These groups next week, different groups. This group is decided upon by the pre-assessment on the prerequisite skills for today. Now, I'm going to take one of the groups, not always the group that was the, it's okay, baby. You're measuring a snake. It's okay. I might take them first. So let's say I take them first. The other kids, what they're doing when they're not with me, they're exploring. They're working on some type of skill for executive functioning. Like they're looking on their schedule for today. They're looking at a checklist. Maybe they're watching a video to inspire them. Maybe they're making a list of questions to ask me. Maybe they're going on a hunt around the room of things to measure. I don't know, but I've designed something for them to do, and I believe they can do it independently. Now, I'm going to take one of the groups, and I'm going to do a short mini lesson. First instruction is going to be done in a small group, pre-K-12. Then that group is going to practice either with a team or collaboratively or by themselves, and I'll grab another group. Now, their scaffolding looks a little bit different, but everybody is going to reach grade level understanding for today's lesson or more. Because I can achieve that. I can beat learning loss if I look at it as a small problem, a 1 bite. Then I take my third group and I do the same thing. Now, that may not be the structure every single day, but I know as an educator that my math director organized this week and showed me, okay, here are the prerequisite skills. Here's how I can possibly pre-assess. I'm going to teach in small groups. The ratio is going to be down. I'm going to meet their needs. The group of kids who are bored is going to be minimized. The group of kids who are lost is going to be minimized because I have them in front of me and I'm teaching them just appropriately. Now, the content I'm doing, all of this is going to be based on universal design for learning because I'm also making recommendations of this is a learning experience I think you should do. So right before I rolled out this unit as a teacher, I watched a video with my math director who said, press pause on this video and go get these manipulatives and tools because I'm going to show you how to use them. Okay, so I became familiar as the educator with the measuring tools, with the protractors, with the rulers, with whatever. I practiced the pre-assessment. I practiced looking at some student work samples. I am ready to go about this unit of study because my math director is kind. Because she believes I can do this and that all the kids can do this. So learning loss tackled by taking small bites. Then there's a lot of other support I'm giving my teachers with feedback and things like that. But that's my plan. So I hope that was okay description, but that's my plan. How do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time?
Right.
Oh.
Well, and I think it's that critical piece of you're empowering teachers by saying that you can do this. And I'm also going to give you the tools to do this. And that is, looking back at the area of research that I'm currently working in with teacher math anxiety, it is that piece of I have to overcome my own math anxiety as a teacher to do math, but then also there's that element of teaching the math. And if I don't always understand the tools and the strategies, how do I then teach those to my students? And you're tackling that by providing that support and that system that is making it accessible and empowering them to then go and do that work successfully. And so it's success for the student and for the teacher.
But also it's often, I mean, those things are really important, but even with those things, if teachers don't have the time to explore those tools and to oftentimes teachers are just expected to just go in and do it. Okay, I just told you what to do, now just go in and do it. But what she's talking about is more than that. It's giving them the time beforehand to look at those tools and explore those tools and have the time to prepare, which is often not there.
Right.
Well, I'd love if we could put up the key question, because I think there's some layers. I think there's some layers here that you said real fast, and because unbeknownst to you, I've heard a lot about you from Sunil. I know when you say, "Oh, I check in and I leave notes." I'd like you to talk about all of the things that you do to uplift those teachers, because that goes very far. But one of the things you said real quick in there was that they've watched a video of how to use the tools, and you said to them, go ahead and hit pause and get those tools, because I'm going to walk you through it. And I think you said 14,000 people on your campus.
Yeah, we have 14,000 students in the district, and I support all the math teachers at all the campuses.
How many is that, Mary?
Oh, I don't know, like 350.
Right. So
you're 11 elementaries.
Yeah. You're leveraging technology to deliver the just-in-time professional development so that everybody can tap into that. So I'm pretty sure maybe you don't sleep. But
I don't watch television, so I don't get any memes. I'm like, what does that mean?
But and then people have built this relationship with you that's all about kindness. So can you talk to us about those things that you just kind of threw in there, but that I know are significant, of how you inspire, encourage, and support?
Sure. So the outward acts that I do, I like to write notes, thank you notes, notes of appreciation, really specific things. So I'll write it and I'll drop it off at their campus, or I'll grab it out of my bag after I've been around the school and just leave it in their mailbox and just say, I'm really proud of you. I loved, this opportunity you're giving your students, or I noticed this, not what they're doing wrong, but what they're doing right. There's some powerful things that you say to people that they won't forget. Like, I'd love to have my child in your classroom, or your kindness is not unnoticed. I love how you handled this situation. That was really tough. I have a 2:00 coffee every day. I drink a lot of coffee. But at one time in my career, for 4 months, I was a stay-at-home mom. That was going to be the plan, but the housing market wasn't on our side. So then I went back to work. But while I was a stay-at-home mom and we lived with my mother, who, by the way, I'm the youngest of 7, she taught me some things. One thing she taught me was the 2:00 cup of coffee. She said, when your kids are that little and you lay them down for a nap, that's when you have coffee, because you got to get ready, because they're going to wake back up. And so now I just always have a 2:00 cup of coffee, and others. But at 2:00, I take time to connect to people in my building, because I work at administration. So if there's any meeting going on, I'll peek in the window or go talk to HR, communications, or, just check in with my colleagues. Like, how are y'all doing? There's no Administration Appreciation Week, by the way. So somebody needs to tell them they're appreciated.
Right.
So I tell them I appreciate you. Let's see. I crochet too. Scarves.
Do you do that when you're supposed to be sleeping?
Yeah. I
might
have one here. Hold on.
Just
I mean, you never know when somebody needs a scarf.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have pictures of these that my friends or colleagues from around the world I've mailed to, because it's kind of like a hug,
Yeah.
But really, it's just I try to be considerate and kind to others, and I don't know. I just feel like I have just this abundance of opportunity to encourage them and inspire them, educators or not. And it's a hard job, but it's what I love to do. Um, anyway, so I'm sure Sunil mentioned maybe a few of those things. What do I do? What was the question? How do I inspire, encourage, and support them? I also keep learning. I also keep
Right.
reading. I listen to podcasts when I work out. Sometimes I read a lot, and I'm brushing up on my Spanish. I have like a 603-day streak on Duolingo.
Wow, nicely done.
Because then I can actually create my content in English and in Spanish for our dual language kiddos, because we support our English learners through a dual language immersion program 50/50. And so all my K-5 content is also in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just going to say that personal touch is significant. A handwritten note, a self-crocheted scarf, a well-chosen word. Those things go very far. And I think we all need to do that, not just because it's pandemic, but always. We always should have been. And so I think we take this moment in time to really stop and appreciate one another and express that kindness. So I think your district is super lucky to have you in leadership offering that support.
Right.
Y'all are so awesome to invite me. I feel honored that y'all asked me to join you.
Oh, thank you. So how can we learn more from you? How can people tap into the things that you offer and share with your district?
Sure. So I post a lot of stuff to my digital portfolio, and we, as a district, use Bulb. And so there's the website. So that's my digital portfolio, and I try to keep it organized and share content. So as I build content for my teachers, which is behind a login screen, right? Because it's in our curriculum, I like to also share as much as possible on my digital portfolio. So there's a lot of stuff there to grab. I'm continually growing and improving what I create, but there's quite a variety. And then also people can connect with me on Twitter, and nobody's really a stranger. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out and I can point them in some direction, I hope. Again, I don't know how I got here. I just keep doing it. Loving math and being kind. That's it.
I mean, it seems like you just really love people. I mean, I think that's the bones of it, right? I mean, you really care about people.
That's really important.
Totally. Yeah. Everybody needs that.
And all people, right?
And all people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
All people at all times. And like the math comes second. Like we're all, we're all working in that field, and we're all passionate about our content or contents, but it's people before all of those things, I think. And you're really exemplifying that in the work that you're doing, and we appreciate that so much.
Yes.
We would love to give you the last word as we are wrapping up here.
I would say my last word is be kind.
Love it.
I know. If we've learned nothing this year, it's that, right?
Yep.
To ourselves and to others.
Right.
That's right. Yeah,
Right.
be kind to yourself.
Yep.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, Mary, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
All right.
You're welcome. Take good care and keep up the great work.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Wow. She has a lot of energy. That is no joke what she does.
But I like the statement about if you have a big problem, solve a small problem. And so that's so calming. We don't have to have all the answers. And anyone who is telling you they have all the answers about next year
lying
is right. They may believe they do, and they might, but we don't know. We're in a new time in history. And so
Well, that's
that
what we
might
have to
be the
take with
solution.
us, though. We have to take that with us every year now, right?
Mhm.
Because
That's right.
every year we think we know what's coming, and
That's
we
right.
just learned that we don't ever know what's coming. So we need to
That's right.
continue thinking that way.
Mhm.
That's right.
Right.
And so if we have a big problem, let's just take it small.
Mhm.
So words that'll stick with me for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
So just wrapping it up, a reminder, if you want to do more work with us, we would love to hear from you. We do the work of going into districts to support districts with their math instruction. You can reach us if you look at the website, looneymath.com. There's also lots of free resources there. And just a final reminder about if you're interested in summer PD and you have the bandwidth for that, there's opportunities up there right now that you can feel free to check out.
Yes. Yes. And next week on May 12th, we will be having Dr. Catherine Ye, and she's going to be talking to us about ethnic studies and math education. So that is another one of the themes that we've been talking about all year. So I'm anxious to hear what she has to say. So excellent. Everybody have a great week, and remember to always be curious.
Take good
Night,
care.
everyone.
Bye.